Hello, today's assignment is an IXL. We're going to do IXL 8th grade. Make sure that you're signed in. And then Y9. It's called write a linear equation from a graph. This is actually fairly easy. So first of all, the first thing that you need to know is that it wants you to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is Y equals MX plus B. Now, M is slope, and B is the y-intercept. And as you hopefully remember from yesterday, the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. And so this is the B is the y-intercept. We'll just abbreviate this y-int. And so when I'm writing the equation, it's always going to start y equals. And I don't want to use capital letters. I want to use lowercase. Y equals. And then I'm going to find the slope. So to find the slope, I'm going to pick two spots. Well, it crosses right there. And then it crosses again way up here. So I can see that it rises 8, right? I can count it out, but it says right there that from 0 to 8. So, and it runs 1. Remember, it's rise over run. So this would be 8 over 1. I can reduce that to 8. So I would type in 8. The x is going to stay exactly the same. And then plus b. And see how it crosses the y-axis right here at 0? So I could put plus 0. And I guarantee that I count it right. But anything you add 0 to is just going to stay the same. So you could actually just write y equals 8x. And then you just start doing this all over again. So we're looking for, this is pretty important. So y equals m for slope, x plus b. And so I always go, okay, the two things I need to know is what's m, what's b. B is the easier one to find, so I can see, oh, b is 0. And then I can see, well, if it crosses there, it crosses there. It rises 6 and runs 1. So this is 6 over 1, which reduces to simply 6. So when I go down here to type it in, I'm going to type in y equals 6x. I could put plus 0, but it's not necessary. Again, same thing. Just because now there's 4 quadrants doesn't mean that you're not going to do it the same way. Remember that the b or the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis at. So right there, I can see that that's negative 6. Find the next closest spot where it crosses again, which is right there. It rises 1 and runs 1. 1 over 1. I can see that it's positive because it goes up left to right. So this is 1 over 1, which reduces to 1. Now, notice how it says y equals mx plus b. And so then when I go to type this in, I'm going to type in y equals 1x. And then here's the interesting part. I could put plus negative 6, but that means the same thing as minus 6. So I don't need the plus sign in there when that happens. You could put it in there. We'll see if it counts you right. And so it does count you right. So you can more than welcome to do that. Same thing. We're going to find the y-intercept first, and then we'll find the slope. So we can see that it crosses right here. It says negative 400. So we're going to leave that negative 400. And so then we're going to find where it crosses again, which is right there. It rises 1, runs 1. Now, technically, it rises 100 and then runs 100. Well, 100 over 100 is going to reduce. So 1 over 1 is going to equal simply 1. So then you go down to your equation and you type it in, y equals 1x, and then you can put plus negative 400, but the plus sign is not necessary. Again, and you're just going to keep doing this process over and over again. And so we're going to find out where it crosses. Crosses right here at -8. So the B is -8. We can see it rises 1 and runs 1. Left to right is going up, so it's positive. So 1 over 1 is 1. And so then I come down here to my, and type in the equation, y equals 1x minus 8. I can put -8 because I know that's going to end up coming out that way. You're just going to keep repeating the process. This is practice. So anything, once you get to 80, that's an A. Anything over that will be extra credit. So we can see that it crosses here at 0. And then we can see that it rises 3 and runs 1. So this is 3 over 1. We can reduce that to simply 3. What's interesting is you don't actually have to reduce it when you're talking about slope. So you could put y equals 3 over 1 x, and then since it's 0, you don't have to put it, and it'll still count you correct. Again, same thing with this over here. We're going to find the y-intercept first and then figure out what the slope is. We can see that this time it's 0. We can see that right there is where it crosses again. Make our right triangle. It rises 1 and runs 2. So rises 1 and runs 2. But this time from left to right, you can see it's going down, right? Which means that this is a negative slope. And so then you go down and you put in your equation. You just type in y equals negative 1 over 2x. And then since it's 0, you don't have to put anything, but you could put plus 0 if you wanted to. Same thing here. Figure out where it crosses at. Right there is 400, negative 400. So we're going to type in negative 400 for the y-intercept. It crosses again right there. Left to right, it's going up. So it's positive 1 over 1, which is equal to simply 1. And then you come down here and you type it in, y equals 1x minus 400. I can see pretty quickly that this has a y-intercept of 0. Crosses right there. It goes, crosses again right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it runs 1. So this is 7 over 1. And then if I start left to right on the line and I follow it, it's going down. So this is negative. Also note this reduces to negative 7. Again, I go down here and I type in y equals negative 7x. And I can add 0. Make sure you put your equal sign. And then you're going to keep doing this over and over again. It doesn't change. And then, so let's get one wrong and see what it tells you, so we can see the directions on it. So the first thing is we can see that it crosses at negative 500. And then we can see that, it rises 2 and runs 2. So this is 2 over 2. And and we can 2 over 2 reduces to 1. It's positive. Now the equation I should write is y equals 1x minus 500. And so I'm going to write it in wrong on purpose. Y equals 1x minus 500. Now you'll notice that I just simply forgot the equal sign. We'll click submit, we get it wrong. Now, let's look at their explanation. It tells you how to figure out slope. It tells you all this information here, right? So their explanation of how to find this is a lot harder than what I'm showing you. So I would really recommend that you use, well, it crosses right there, it rises 1 and runs 1, so that you can end up with this equation here. Because what they want to show you is all this stuff down here where you have to do all this work. The way I'm showing you is much easier. If you have questions, please feel free to email me.